Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me okay? Let me know. Having some issues with audio, but you might be able to tell we're in a different space. In fact, we're at the normal YouTube setup. So I've completely changed things up. Really curious to see how things look on your end because I'm still messing with a bunch of stuff. So first and foremost, can you hear me? Do things sound okay? Let me know. And we'll get to work on some questions. So I'm just going to make sure my audio is muted here. And I'm sorry I'm a little late, guys. I usually do this at 5 p.m. Eastern, so we're, 15 minutes after the fact? Okay, yes, ooh, main setup sounds good. Yes, awesome. Good to see everybody. We've got several people already in the chat. Re-Rum Trading, Ben's Watch Club, Brian, Nemanja, David, and Ben's Watch Club. Good to see you, Ben. Jeremy, Edmund, Alan, Coalition Gaming. What's up, dude? Andrew, RW, and others. So welcome, everybody. So yeah, I wish I had another camera I could show you the setup, but essentially I've moved into my main space. So instead of a room down the hall, we're now here. I'm trying to consolidate essentially 3 desks into one. So I've spread out into my primary desk where I write videos and do things like that. I have the YouTube setup, which is dedicated for, this setup for this YouTube channel and my camera guides. And then I also have another space, really small room, kind of like a closet really, that I was using for live streaming. And while I like that, because it really helps you mentally separate, right? When I'm just writing videos, it's just me in a room. There's no cameras. It's just a computer, monitor, and I can just go to writing. Nice window, no crazy stuff to make, a video setup work. The live streaming is dedicated for live streaming. And then this space, of course, is very production heavy. There's tons of lights all over the place. So it's not necessarily a super nice spot to, sit and write a video script. But I think I'm just kind of tired of running back around. And we're also, it's something about being in the space that you film in just really helps keep the flow going, right? Because you can write a script and immediately grab some gear and get to work. So I'm going to try this out. And yeah, that's kind of the deal. Oh, the fake light. The fake window light. Oh, it's still there. It's just really faint. And I might get rid of this board. Where is it? Over there. That board. In fact, I'll do that right now so we can get a little more fake window. Hang on a second. And, I forgot about that nasty wire hanging down. So, let me know how things are sounding. The microphone's a little further away. I love this new arm I'm using. But it's a little far, so I can't quite get it. I prefer to be right about here with the microphone, but I'm having to sit a little further back. So I'm going to have to work on that. Somebody asked in here what microphone this is. This is the microphone that I DIY'd. I should add that to the link in the description. That'd be helpful. But if you search my recent videos, you'll see the SM7B, knockoff video, and that's what this is. And by the way, we're about to ship 50 of those. So if you're on the email list, you'll have a chance to buy them here in, the next couple of days, hopefully. Big physical storyboard thoughts. What do we got here? Okay, so now that we're kind of dialed in, I suppose we could dive in and do some questions. So, there's one other thing I want to mention that I'm really excited about. So after this stream, I'm going to be heading over to Jem Scoville's channel, and we're doing a camera challenge, or really a frames challenge. So let me grab the link for you guys so you can hang out with me over there. Essentially, we each, and this was open to everyone, and for those of you who joined in, that's awesome. Essentially, we each grabbed a frame from one of our favorite movies and our favorite shots within a movie. Then we replicated it, but we didn't tell anyone, and we replicated it, loosely. And we're going to see if people can guess what the movie is and what the shot is. So it should be pretty nerdy. Let me go ahead and find the link here. Geez, why is YouTube got to be so tricky? YouTube, upcoming live streams. Boom, there it is. Okay. So we're going to be hanging out over here at the C47's channel. So I'll drop a link. That's in 40 minutes. So let me go ahead and drop that in the chat here. Sorry about how messy everything is. I'm still getting used to this new setup. My monitors are in different positions. All of that fun stuff. So there it is in the chat. I'll be there. I'll drop a link again at the end of the video. So if you have any questions, let me know, and we'll dive in here and do another episode of Video Production Helpline. So let's see. Where am I going to start? Maybe it'll start at the bottom. So if I miss your question, you can repost. Would you recommend the A7? This is Kareem. Would you recommend the A7 IV or A7S III if you can only have one camera to shoot all your content? 100% for me personally, the A7 IV. By the way, that's what I'm using right now. I have now switched from the Canon RP, which is what I was using in my other space for this live stream, and now I'm using the A7 IV. I've got my own LUT hooked up to it for this live stream. So this is actually S-Log 3 going through a LUT to you guys. So yes, 100% that camera. If it's not going to be rolling, you know, if you're not going to be moving the camera around too much, it's an incredible camera. I'm actually thinking about selling my A7S III and going with another one of those A7 IVs. Coalition Gaming, good to see you, dude. I was just tweeting about you because someone mentioned a teleprompter. You know what? I saw that, which prompted me to link to some of your past videos. Elbow cough. Nice. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for sharing and for being a solid. Some of you guys are like Class A supporters, and you guys have been with me for a long time. And Coalition Gaming is one. Check out his channel. But yeah, no, I actually saw it right before as I was writing the tweet to let people know I was jumping on the stream. And actually, I've got a new teleprompter setup, which I'm really excited about. It's much larger than my old setup. So maybe we'll do, I don't know, a live stream video on that. I'm kind of in this weird place. I don't know what to do with the channel almost. But I'm probably just going to make videos that I'm interested in. And what happens, happens. Great content. Thank you. How do I pronounce your name? I'll call you Sharma for now. I don't want to screw it up. Question, do you share audio mic settings for OBS? I don't, but I don't use OBS. So I use Ecamm Live, link in the description. But ePost Vox has a ton of content on OBS. So if you want to learn more about that, you can check that out. Do you bother with any LUTs in Ecamm? And what is your color settings for the A6400, etc.? I don't use LUTs in Ecamm. Do they even have that feature? I haven't checked their features and stuff in a while. But right now I'm actually using a Shogun, or not a Shogun, a Ninja 5. So we're actually going to switch to all external recording for the channel because I'm sick and tired of transcoding. So I'm going to actually record everything in ProRes Proxy, believe it or not, because why not? Get weird. And that's what I'm using for my LUTs. So yeah. Do you have experience with capture cards? Not a lot. I usually use those external USB dealios. First time joining the stream. Welcome, Ty. Good to have you, my friend. Thank you for hanging out with me. Which affordable hard case would you suggest for a carry camera gear such as FX6 rig? So I really love the Portabrace cargo case. If you search my channel for cargo case or case review, you'll find that multiple times. Because it's kind of a soft case, but if you're going to do check to carry on, the Pelican 1510 is really good. So that would be a good setup if you're going to break everything down. Just bought the Sirui 50 for the GH5, going to get another anamorphic lens. Do you recommend the 24 or 35? I would go 35. And in fact, that's a fun segue to... I'm selling a bunch of stuff over on Gear Focus. And I believe we got some Sirui lenses left. So there's the 50. Let's see what else is here. But yes, I would say of the two, I would definitely lean 35, not the 24. You're just going to get more anamorphicness. Really? Maybe it already sold. I swear we had more. There's another 50, a different mount. Huh. Oh, there's other lenses here, but and a bunch of other lights and stuff. But yeah, the 35 is going to 35 and 75 are my favorite of that set, especially for Micro Four Thirds. So that's kind of what I would lean toward if I were you. All right, what do we got? Ben's Watch Club. What's up, dude? How important is 10-bit color versus 8-bit for YouTube videos? 50-50 on the A7C as a result. Need a smaller form factor. Ben, I don't know what you're shooting on now, but 100% 10-bit. Just unless it's Canon. Canon, you can get away with 8-bit. Otherwise, please go 10-bit. You're going to way appreciate it. So Canon's newest camera, the R7, which I'm loving, by the way, and we'll have a video hopefully next Tuesday on, that has 10-bit. Otherwise, full frame, A7 IV, etc. 10-bit is a big deal. I think it's one of the most important specs on a camera. I would take a 10-bit HD camera over, well, would I? For YouTube, maybe not so much, but yeah, 10-bit's a big deal. I would almost take it over 4K, depending on the camera. Do I ever use walkie-talkies on set? If so, which ones? We used a couple of little walkie-talkies back in the day. I am actually selling on Gear Focus, link in the description, a headset unit. There's a bunch of companies making them now. Hollyland, Came TV, this is the one I'm selling. But yeah, they're like headsets that all link up and you get a little case with them. So there's 4 in that kit, I think. So I know a lot of people are going with that. So that's kind of nice because you're hands-free instead of, but for PAs and stuff like that, something like that would work just fine. In your Sigma FP, do you think the FP is at $1,500 a deal? It depends. Those are 2 very different cameras. I would say if you're more of a filmmaker, best image quality possible, and you're shooting short projects or even a movie or something, I would go with the FP. If you're more of a vlogging, YouTuber-y, need a flip-out screen, and good autofocus, A7C. Do you have any recommendations for low latency camera with good autofocus and exposure for live show to slide projectors? Low latency, good autofocus. You're talking about the HDMI output? It's a good question. You probably have to go with a camcorder to get the lowest latency possible. Unfortunately, all of these mirrorless cameras and DSLRs just don't seem to be cutting it when it comes to HDMI. By the way, I need to sneeze at some point, so prepare yourselves. And I don't have my mute switch. Super chat from Nate. Thank you, Nate. $10. He says, do you bother with any LUTs in Ecamm? I missed the second part of your question. And what color settings do you use for the A6400, etc.? Thank you for the donation. We addressed the first one. No, I don't use LUTs in Ecamm. The second part of your question, A6400, I would shoot S-Log2 with color mode set to 709 matrix. I believe that's ITU 709 matrix. That's what it is. So that's going to boost your saturation in camera, and then you'll have your gamma or your luminance is going to be log, which is nice to grade. So that's what I go with, and I have a video on that. If you search for Sony skin tones on my channel, you should find a video. This sneeze is just on the edge. Look at a light here. Excuse me. I don't have my mute switch set up yet. Okay, what do we got here? Let me just take a sip of water while I read the next one. SG Miniatures. Dude, I'm going to have to check out your channel. Add a B cam to my setup. For YouTube videos, should I go with a second GH6 or a BGH1? Ooh. I'm going to say second GH6. Try to match your cameras. That makes a big difference when you're cutting back and forth. And now I'm all stuffy, so sorry about that, guys. Ooh. I really cleaned my clock. Tips for making a travel vlog when you don't quite know how things are going to work out. I'm going to a music fair next week and super anxious because it's my first time vlogging and covering events. Oh, man. I don't know if it's allergies or what. 2 answers to that question. Number 1, you need to get comfortable being on camera. That's huge if you're going to vlog, obviously. Number 2, I would study documentary channels because that's going to be, you're essentially making a documentary. It's just you're the subject. So, what's that one guy on YouTube does fantastic documentary content? He's like an FX6 shooter, I think. Help me out, guys. I'm sure you know who he is. He has glasses, super classy dude. Goes to Iceland a lot, does documentaries. I can't remember his name, but I'm sure someone will remember his name. And that channels like that. Start looking into how to film documentaries. Lots of good content on YouTube on What's up, Carlson? Thinking of getting into the Micro Four Thirds system, leading towards the GH6. What lenses would you recommend for filmmaking? So if you're gonna go, with electronic lenses, Panasonic's zooms, those classic 12 to 35 and 35 to 100 are great. For cinema, you could get a focal reducer and use any manual lenses. You could really do anything with Micro Four Thirds. If it was up to me, it depends on what you're going to film. Again, if you want not autofocus, because that camera's not very good at it. Anamorphic is fantastic. I would say the Sirui lenses are gold. Yeah, pick up a focal reducer, get some. I like the idea of investing in a full frame set of lenses if you're going manual, because then those can live with you. So those Mikey lenses are great. Also the Micro Four Thirds, Micro Four Thirds would be a good set to check out as well. Reposting, do you have the Canon R5C guide? Any AF tips? Switch to the R5. Can't get it to work. It's half as good. Interesting. Shooting events. Did I F up and not going with the C70? Interesting. I've not had any problems. I haven't shot with it too much. I'm not going to do a guide for that camera. In fact, the GH6 was probably my last guide when it comes to specific cameras. I've got some insane stuff planned. That's outside of the camera world. It's still video related. It's production. It's going to be a content creator's guide. But, man, that's weird. Have you tried switching from video to photo mode just to see if somehow that magically changes it? Because it should be at least as good, if not better. So I'm curious as to why that's a problem. Will you make another video about budget rigs? Yes, I would love to do more rig content. So actually there's something in the background on that bench behind me that we'll be talking about at some point. Oh, that sneeze. I've been watching your videos from when you still had hair. Nice, dude. Good to see you, Ty. That's a long time. That's a real dedication there. Thanks for the answer. Cool. Thank you for the kind words. Charge 207. Finally jumping on the XH2S, but I'm unsure which lens I should get first. Was using the 24 to 70 on the S1 previously. Probably you're looking at a 16 to 50 range would be a good place to start. Doesn't Tamron now have FX lenses? That's probably, if it was me buying today and you weren't going to get a Fuji lens, let's see, Tamron X mount lenses. There it is. I think I just saw it. 17 to 70. Boom. B&H set $800. Boom. That's exactly what I would get right there. So Tamron 17 to 70 f2.8 DI3A. So this is going to give you the VA, which is or VC, which is compensation, vibration compensation. That's what it is. So this lens is what I would get. It's f2.8, perfect range that converts to around a 24. Well, actually a little more. It's more like a whatever the math is on that. I can't do that in my head right now. But yeah, that's what I would do is that Tamron lens. I think that's a pretty great slam dunk. All right, what else we got? To control OBS, you can use your software touch portal. Not sure I've ever heard of it. I've not messed with OBS in years, so no, I haven't. That's very kind of you, Skinny Man Media. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate the kind words. 35 to 75 recommendations from Chad. Thank you, Brandon. Good to see you, brother. Just recently picked up a great C100, and I'm really looking forward to getting into footage. However, I've never worked with log footage before. Where would you start to get familiar with it? So first thing you want to do is learn about LUTs, log, and all that. I do really want to do, and part of the reason for me switching to this setup is to do more post tutorials. So we're going to definitely be doing some LUT workflows, talking about color grading and color correcting. But I would recommend finding a solid LUT, and I am working on one for C-Log 3, by the way, that takes, whatever your log is, if it's C-Log or C-Log 2, C-Log 3, converting that to Rec 709. So search for your log to Rec 709, and then I recommend having curves before and after so you can tweak things. So that's what I would recommend starting with. Great camera though, C100, love it. What's up, I'm sorry, I'm going to destroy your name. Let me know how you pronounce it, but greetings to you as well. First time catching you live. Thanks for all the great info. I'm an e-camera and you can run LUTs in there. Sweet, dude. That's awesome to know. Didn't know that. Haven't really messed with that at all, but thank you, DJ Strick. I will 100% check that out, and thank you for the kind words. Really appreciate it. Currently working on my setup, setting up my keyboard. Use the left hand like the gamer. Nice. Thanks, Mr. Mischief. Cool. Love it. Keyboard stuff is great, and you haven't seen that video, check it out. It's the newest video on the channel, and it's not doing great. But I love that stuff. Those little hacks are great. I know you're using 35-1.8 for talking head. Yes, this is the full frame Sony 35, the not fancy expensive one. Would you consider the 35-1.4 since the focus breathing thing? No, I probably wouldn't. I can't remember correctly, but some of those, the focus breathing is so bad that when you turn on focus breathing compensation, you're going to crop in significantly. So it might be like, instead of, here's the full frame right here, it might crop in a little bit because it has to deal with that. And since, my face is going to go from here to maybe here, hey, let's do this right now. Let me move this arm a little bit. See if I can do this live. Here, ready? Bring my face forward. Let's see if there's any zooming. Look at this plant over here. Let's see if there's any zooming. I don't think there was a lot. And that was a lot of movement, so I don't think you're going to have any problems sticking with the 1.8. All right. For those who just tuned in, that must have been interesting to watch. Budget solution to bypass the 30-minute record limit. A7 III 30-minute. Ninja 5 is out of my budget. Do you know of any other budget external recorders? Blessings, brother. Good to see you, Ben. So, if you're okay with 1080p, there are some cheap recorders out there. You could go with an older Atemus situation, or I think Blackmagic makes that hyperdeck thing that you just stick an SSD into. That could work. You could ingest it into your computer over USB using like a Ecamm little thumbstick, and those would allow you to record much longer. So yeah, I would look into those. Any recommendation for non-Lumix cameras, A cameras, or work well with the GH5 as B cameras for live streams? If you're going to go non-matchy, you can go with anything, really. So I've been debating on getting a new camera. I'm a photographer and videographer, primarily document artist and content creator, numerous small brands. Is there another question attached to that? Is there anything else you're looking for? Honestly, right now, A7 IV, Canon R7 is also a really good option. Those are probably my top two recommendations that in those two price ranges, $2,500 and $1,500. Yes, night and day, man. 10-bit forever. Ever heard of Alice camera? How do you feel about computational devices? I don't know what that is, no. Question from Ben. Best 4K video camera to mount on a mic arm like the one right in front of you. I think we talked about this last stream. The G7 is really good. 4K, clean HDMI out. That would be a good option if you want just like to swing an arm out, and that would get the job done. Oh, did I miss part of your question during live stream, Nate? Sorry about that. Mr. Camera Junkie, what's going on, brother? Production issue. Recording first computer with second. Okay. HDMI capture. 3 cameras also synced with second computer. Oh my gosh, dude. I cannot get native audio from first computer to second computer. First thought for fixing. Thank you. I'm really struggling to follow exactly what this setup is. So maybe if you can let me know more what's going on, like what is all this being recorded to? Are you recording multiple cameras on multiple capture cards? Let me know. But in general, when you're dealing with a ton of devices, especially when you're mixing audio in there, it's a good idea to try to get it all down to one. Sorry, this microphone's in the way. Down to one device. If you've got a ton of cameras, microphones, instead of sticking every camera and every microphone into one computer or multiple computers or whatever, try to get everything into something like this, which is out of frame, my Atem Mini. So all your cameras go into that. All your audio go to a mixer, which spits out a single signal to your Atem. That can often help deal with hairy stuff instead of having everything going into a computer. Do you think that the Lumix VH1 is a good video camera for the first time? Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to buy a bunch of stuff to build that up. So I would just say go with a GH5. Or, whatever the variant is, because you get a display, built-in stabilization. Bless you too, sir. Thanks for the help. Paint tiny toys. Yes, I used to be really into the Lord of the Rings Warhammer stuff. Loved playing that back in high school, and it'd be fun to get back into it. Really relaxing hobby, painting small miniatures. Lighting tips. Yes, hoping to do more lighting content soon. What specs do you find important when choosing a camera for video? For me, it's going to be color. So, and not just, does it look good, but 10-bit. So that's really important for me personally. Dynamic range is a big deal. Does it have a good log profile? For example, the R7 that I'll be doing a video on next week. Great color, but C-Log 3 is pretty contrasty, so it's not the greatest log profile to work with. I much prefer S-Log 3 on a 10-bit camera. And then from there, codec is going to be a big deal. So are the file size giant? Are they tiny? Is it hard on your computer to edit? You want codec options. That's a big one too. And then autofocus for me personally, having this camera where I can do things like this and it just focuses back to me is a big deal. But everyone's different. Thank you, Semper Fi, Bry. Mark Bone, there you go. Wow, am I that far behind? Yes, Mark Bone, 100%. Whoever was asking about vlogging for the first time, check out documentary tips, and this guy's a beast, Mark Bone. He's the doc guy, 100%. Art of the documentary, that's also great. Are you aware of any way to remotely stop and start recording while filming multiple cameras? One that I want to get into or play with is it's expensive, but you get a bunch of Ninja 5s, one for each camera. And then, what is it? This thing. Is it this thing? No. If we go Ninja 5, I bet it's under the accessories. What is that thing called? You know what I'm talking? It goes on the back of the Atem. Sync. So you take one of these bad boys and you put it on your Atem Mini. Or Atem Mini. Good grief, Caleb. You put one of these on the back of your Ninja 5. Then that thing connects to all your other Ninja 5s. And when you hit record on one of the Ninja 5s, all the rest record. And then they linked up perfectly in post. That's what I want to get. But, then you got to have Ninja 5s for every single camera. So it can get a bit pricey. But that's one way. Other ways, you have to have some kind of time code, get time code into each camera. It would be cool if someone invented a little box that, spat HDMI, whatever that HDMI start-stop recording signal is, if you could just plug that into all your cameras. Alistair Chapman, another legend. All right, let's see. What are we doing on time? 4:42, so we're going to be switching over to that second stream here in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. And I'll drop a link to that when the time comes. Looking forward to your content creator guide. Yes, I'm really excited. I already started recording already. It's going to be, it might be close to 100 videos in this thing by the time it's all said and done. but we just finished recording and showing how to build my whole Notion setup. So all the software I use to keep track of all the videos and be able to archive them, we build it from scratch. So that was a lot of fun because I don't do a lot of software stuff. So that was really, really fun and looking forward to more of that. Punch it to the wall, but I should be talking about it. I'm putting it through its paces a little bit first, but then we'll dive into it at some point. Super chat, the one, the only, the Matt Gray. Those Tamrons are underrated. Nice, dude. Thanks for the feedback. I've not used them, but I have the 28 to 70, so that 17 to 70 for Fuji would probably be pretty sick. Excuse me. Best camera for low light situations, lifestyle photographer, videographer. Yeah, so if you're a Canon person and you want a better low light, 100% Sony. For if you want a hybrid, I'm going to say the A7 IV is probably your best all-arounder right now for low light and video photo without breaking the budget. A7S, of course, is better, but, you know, resolution's rough, especially if we're going to be shooting stills. So I would say A7 IV. That camera right now is just a beast. It really, really is. Rode doesn't fit on my Sony camcorder. You could find a different... there's all kinds of little cold shoe adapters you could check out. Sorry, I missed this one over here from Alex. 10-bit effectively the video equivalent of shooting RAW? No, it's not. But if you just look up on YouTube like 8-bit versus 10-bit, you're just going to see there's so much more color information. So it's a little bit like shooting JPEG, maybe like JPEG, the highest JPEG quality, and then the worst, terrible, lowest resolution version of JPEG. So you're just, you know, like my skin right now, this is 10-bit, eventually working its way down to 8-bit over the internet. But if I start to grade this, if I'm an 8-bit, things are going to get real blotchy because there's not millions of shades of red on my skin or whatever. It's going to be thousands instead on 8-bit. So 10-bit just, man, it makes a difference. Some cameras are better at 8-bit, so I would say Canon is a way better way to go if compared to Sony when it comes to 8-bit. But yeah, look up some videos and you'll see what the difference is, and you'll see there's just so much more information with 10-bit. All right. We'd like to get this podcast microphones. What do you recommend? $100 range. Yep, AT2020 100% is what I would go with. Or build one of these, and I'm going to be selling them, the case at least. And we have 50 of them coming out here pretty soon. So you take a XM8500, which is a $20 microphone. Let me do this real quick. Sorry, watch your ears. And you stick it in a case. You put a grill on it. All comes in the kit. Mount it up. Grab a, you know, I don't know, what a $5 foam cover. And now you have an SM7BS. And yeah, so you could build this microphone. If you bought my parts, it would be like $60. So you could get almost two for $100. Otherwise, if you 3D print it yourself, you know, I don't know, $25 or less. Good tip from Andrew there. Any thoughts and rumors on the FX30? I have no idea, but man, if it was $2,500, that's pretty tempting. I wish they wouldn't start with that. I wish they would lead with an A6700. I want something $1,500 that is from Sony that has 10-bit and is a crop sensor. That would make me so insanely happy. It would not be funny. Okay. So we still got a little bit of time here. Oh my gosh. Yes. So sorry about that. And I should have said that at the top of the show, and I need to make a post or something because the uptick of these scams that are happening, and there's probably going to be some in the comments of this video once it goes up, is nuts. So if somebody is trying to get you to talk to them on an app and say you won something, it's not me. Don't click on the link. Don't talk to them. It's just bad news. So that's all a scam, and they are all over YouTube. It's getting out of control. This has been a problem for, I don't know, 6+ months. They've not done anything about it, YouTube or Google, that is. So I will not do giveaways. If I do a giveaway, it's going to be in a video like this or on my Twitter account or, on my channel. If you go to the community tab, something directly from me. Don't listen to the comments. There's some shady stuff and it looks like it's me, but it's not. So please ignore all that. If there was a brand you could partner with, no matter the niche, who would it be? I don't know. That's a good question. I've not thought about that before. So do you mean partner with, like, sponsor or more, work with, or like come out with a product with? That's a good question. I'm not sure exactly who. Okay, so as we wrap up here, I'm going to scroll down because I missed some super chats from folks. And we're going to start with Matthew. What's up, Matthew? $10 donation. Just want to say I appreciate your constant knowledge. Thank you, Matthew. Really appreciate that, man. It's very kind. And I appreciate you watching and your kind donations. Brandon, good to see you, dude. Thank you. Thank you. Brandon's another regular. All right, I'm going to scroll down here. I think there's one more. Here we go. Philip, $9.99. Thanks for everything you do, Caleb. Wow, you guys are just being all kinds of sweet. Thank you, Philip. Really appreciate that. And then we're going to do a couple more questions down here at the bottom. Before we jump over to the next stream, I'll drop that link again in the description, or in the chat. So that link that I just put in the chat, we're going to be heading over there after this stream and doing a frames challenge. So we all took photos. We didn't say, and we're also supposed to guess what the photo we took is inspired from. Which movie was it inspired from? And I'm really curious to see if you guys will figure out mine and how quickly you will. I have a feeling you're going to figure it out super fast which movie it came from. But I put a couple curveballs in there, so hopefully we'll make it somewhat interesting. Yeah, Matthew, you look really familiar. Can I just click on this and go to your channel? Very familiar. All right, I have a pocket cinema camera, 4K with Metabone speed booster. I like the camera, tilt screen. Yes, I would say go for it. It's such a big difference going to that 6K Pro. So yeah, I would say go for it. Arman, enjoying your content since the studio in the basement. Is Final Cut Pro 10 when grading S-Log footage? Is it essential to align RGB curves for LUTs to work correctly? First of all, thank you for hanging in there since that. Secondly, I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessary, and it's going to be really hard when it's 8-bit, unless it's 10-bit. But in an 8-bit camera, it's really, really tricky to get things lined up because, right when you correct some green hue spike, there's going to be a magenta, and you're just going to be going back and forth. But I try to, whenever I'm having issues, which is a lot with 8-bit, I try to find something gray in the scene like this wall, just crop into that, or this black shirt and the gray, and then try to get things leveled out there. Okay, so got a couple more minutes here. Let's keep working. What mic? That's in the description, or not the description, but it's one of my last videos on the SM7B. It's a modification you can make. Particularly, have you had, I'm going backward here. Caleb, have you had any particularly annoying experience with a client? How did you get through it? Many times. Just push through and know that I'll never work with them again if it's that bad. Or, just hang in there because, the check is going to be happening eventually. Just kind of persevere through it. And usually then I fire those clients if it's really, really bad. Yeah, you just gotta kind of push through when you're in the middle of it. That's kind of your job. Super chat, another $10. Foxtail Whips. Hey Caleb, if you could have an Arri Alexa Classic to do any crazy experiments on water cooling, painting the body, or something fun like that, would you be interested? Shoot me an email. Interesting. Oh, dude. Is that you have another channel, right? Or is this your channel also? I don't know. We can talk about it But yeah, thanks for the donation, man. You're the Airy guy, the dude who bought like 5 Airies, right? I just don't recognize your thumbnail or your avatar. Maybe I'm actually going to be painting a camera. I'm going to be plasti dipping a camera here pretty soon. So stay tuned for that video. It should be fun. Mic arm name, I'll let you know. I need to sort out if it's available, but that should be in a future video. I used to work at the Future channel, if you're familiar. This is Matthew. Just run my own channel. Been enjoying your content for years. Appreciate the DIY approach. Nice, man. Well, everyone check out Matthew's channel. And I'll have to brush up on that as well and see what's going on. Looking forward to checking that out. What lens would you buy if you had to shoot talking head in interviews? 35-1.8, good enough? Or should I go with a 24? I need a suggestion. I mean, for interviews, a zoom and a 35, that video I did about owning 2 lenses, that's what I would go with. If I had multiple cameras, it's nice to also have some other primes. So, I mean, back when I did production, corporate doc stuff, I would have like 85, 50, 35, and a zoom or 2. And that's what I mainly shot with. Okay, right on. Nice, dude. Sweet. Yeah, check out Foxtail Whips. That's not your channel name, though, is it? Unless it is, and I just never looked at your channel name. But he's got a crazy video where he bought like a ton of different Arri Lexus, which I haven't even finished like where you're at with that whole journey if you got one up and running. But yeah, sweet. Favorite vintage lens? That is a murderous question. I'm going to say the MIR. We'll probably wrap up on this one. The MIR or Mir. Let's look it up. It's easily now that I think about it, it definitely is my favorite lens. So let's go to eBay here and see if we can find one. So we're going to go MIR 35mm f2. The Mir 24N, right? Yes. Okay. A lot of these Russian lenses have different names with different numbers than their focal length. But this is my favorite lens. And as you can see, it's not really that expensive. So let's find a decent looking one here. That one looks kind of rough. But what I love about it is it's 35, which is one of my favorite focal lengths. But it's also an f2. So it's going to be a little faster. Maybe it's the H. Oh, no, M. M. That's the one. Not N. There we go. This is it. So it's a nice metal lens, as you can see here. Really love it. Super creamy. f2, so it's faster than 2.8. Not expensive, as you can see. And just love it. So if you're looking for a fun 35 to mess around with, oh, here's one that somebody did a lot of work on. Got some nice gears on there. Although you could buy all that stuff yourself and save a lot of money. So yeah, that's what I would go with. Probably is my favorite lens. And with that, we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to start another stream on another channel. Or I'm not going to start it, but we're going to be doing that here in a moment. Here is a link. Boom. That's where I'm going to be going. So you guys can grab that link. And we can head over there. And we're going to be doing a frame challenge. So I shot a photo that was inspired by a frame I love from a movie. And we're all going to see if we can guess each other's photos. So several of us have done this challenge. And we're talking about it tonight. So that link, I'll drop it one more time. Oh, it means peace. MIR means peace. That's cool. Thank you for that piece of information. Okay, link is in the chat. I'll let it kind of percolate there, let this kind of catch up before I shut the stream off. But I want to thank you guys so much. Fantastic questions. Thank you for helping me kind of troubleshoot this space to get this kind of dialed in. And I won't be on next week. So I'll be skipping a week because I'll be out with the family. But then we'll be back with another one of these streams after that. So hope you have a wonderful evening. I'll see you over in that next stream. Again, link in the chat. And thank you for those who donated. And we'll see you in the next video and in the next stream.